Hey everyone, this is DJ, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And welcome to Reliving the 80s Classics, where I currently cover Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling on a weekly basis. So, today we are going to continue with the 1982 January 9th episode, and this show was taped on 6th January 1982 at the WPCQ TV studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, as usual. And as usual as well, Bob Caudle and David Crockett are on commentary first, and we first began with the same kind of manner like Sandy Scott coming, and uh, he kind of saying what all news he has, updates that he wanted to say, that he wanted to address to the fans. And he first talks about bringing in new talent into the territory and introduces Terry Taylor, and he's excited to be in Mid Atlantic. He says, and he says he can't wait to meet the fans and sign autograph for everyone. So great thing. And then we get to Sergeant Slaughter's news as well, where he this $1,000 is with Mr. Crockett, and he is demanding that money back, as he actually says that he is already won the challenge against Blackjack Mulligan Jr. So Sandy Scott tells that challenge is Sandy Scott that challenge is over and he wants his money back. He says, and Sandy Scott tells Sergeant Slaughter that they can't give him back the $1,000 first of all. And Slaughter asks if you know who he is. As Scott says he does, but the problem is the Blackjack Mulligan Jr. and his attorney have put an injunction on his $1,000. They say so. Slaughter is upset and that says that it is his money, and Sandy Scott tells Slaughter goodbye, not paying attention to him, to what he says, and kind of. So that ends it, and then we get to the next bit of a news where Sandy Scott also says that he will announce an update on the NWA World Tag Team titles, as they are the kind of scenario that's played out is Anderson's one of the member is not there, so one of the belt actually is taken by Ray Stevens, because of Ray Stevens was not being saved by Ole Anderson when they had a match. So Ray Stevens actually sacrificed, so that he didn't like it. So what they did, so he took and stole the belt. So for some weeks he had been having the belt in his arsenal for many weeks right now. So finally we are going to have a decision on the tag team championship situation, and this was the update. We get to the first match. Blackjack Mulligan Jr. and Jake the Snake Roberts kick it off against Doug Vines and Mike Miller. So this Blackjack and Jake the Snake Roberts they always kind of opens up matches, and they are very fun to watch. And I would say this match, I was very kind of interested to see this match, but this match got a while to kind of like it, I would say. And another thing was it had a lot of length. The match length was very high, I would say. And the match length was very increasing, and but it was a decent match, I would say. It dragged down so much, and it was just slamming by Jake the Snake Roberts, and not pretty good match, I would say, but a decent match. You can watch it through, and anyhow. And the double team work by Vines and Miller. Mulligan Jr. slams Vines headfirst into the turnbuckle. Roberts comes back and slams Vines. He drops a knee on Vines and tags in Mulligan Jr. and catches Vines with a bulldog for the victory. Roberts run in and catches Miller with a knee lift. So that was the ending of this match. A decent match, I would say, which I wasn't aiming to see because of Mulligan Jr. and Jake the Snake Roberts cohesion and their tandem offenses. Didn't like that much. But we get to the next very good match, I would say. Billy Robinson versus Keith Larson, and Billy Robinson is accompanied by a new manager, you can say, with Lord Alfred Hayes, and he was on the commentary. And he says the reason why he is Billy Robinson. He actually praises Billy Robinson first, and he says that Bob Caudle asked, then why are you being associated with him? He says that he's the computer mind of wrestling, and he he also says that everyone needs me, and whoever have the support of me is gonna be into a very new heights, and kind of prosperous thing that he told about Billy Robinson. And you can not take away with Billy Robinson's talent. You cannot, because he's such a good wrestler. Even Keith Larson was hanged up very well with Billy Robinson, having a back and forth technical mastery, and so much good having mat work, a great mat work that they did, and awesome that European style that they bring about, and which was not very understandable to the American audience, and that was bring about by Mid Atlantic at that point. So that's good. And then Robinson had a headlock in one of the situation where Hayes wants him to talk about how awesome of wrestler Robinson is, and a belly to belly suplex by Robinson. Robinson is a mix of a power guy versus the technical master. And when you mix it up with these two styles, when you have these present two styles, it's gonna be a great magic. And this was like that. And if you have WWE Network, guys, please do watch Billy Robinson matches in these episodes. Last week we also had the match with Billy Robinson. So some of the highlights that I would be addressing: forearms and uppercuts on the ropes by Robinson at Larson, double underhook suplex by Robinson. Lord Alfred Hayes yells out to Robinson to use Larson as a toy, and that kind of creates a laughter among the fans in the audience. And hard forearm by Robinson at Larson. So Larson, in the ending of this match, was kind of try to control Robinson, and he was trying to learn how Robinson is working, and he was kind of getting an opportunity to have an offense on Robinson, but he escaped that with the power thing, and that is very great advantage for him. And we cannot take away from Keith Larson as well. He was also a big guy. And in the ending of this match, we saw Larson reversing an Irish whip into the corner, and Larson lays in a series of forearms across Robinson's back, damaging his upper back. Robinson catches Larson with a neck breaker, but only gets a 2 count. Robinson tosses Larson into the rope and hits him with a forearm to the back. He then picks up Larson for a back breaker, and that was it. And so his back was being targeted in the ending of this match by Robinson, and that get Billy Robinson the victory. So Billy Robinson is the winner here. And post match, we saw a segment: Tony Anthony and Buddy Landel come, which was, I would say, this was an uninspiring and promo segment, which didn't feel for me, I would say. And it was an extended thing, and David Crockett kind of asks how they are going to have a match with Anderson and Ivan Koloff. And he said he's learning a bit while training with Jake Roberts and plans, and he's going to be aggressive in the ring, and he's going to produce more of them, what you have never seen. So nothing interesting, kind of, because you want to see the match, and you don't want to see just a series of words that you're going to see that. I didn't like it. We get to the next match: Handsome Jimmy Valiant versus Jeff Sword, a squash match. This was cut down, I think so, after they had the music of Mid Atlantic, which is the WWE Network version. And in the ending of this match, we saw elbow drop onto Sword for the victory, and that was it. Jimmy Valiant got the victory, and a lot of monotonous arm drags that was carried around, and this wasn't interesting. So the beginning 25 minutes, I would say, wasn't an interesting show. You can certainly see half an hour, you can say that, but into the main event, and before that, it got into interesting. And we got Ray the Cripple Stevens into a promo, joining Bob Caudle for an interview. He still has the NWA World Tag Team title. He took from Ole Anderson, and he said that neither of the Andersons have come to take it from him. And he spoke to Candy Scott about him and about that, and said that he would give him the tag title back, and which he didn't, which he was saying he wasn't giving. But it's happening. If he can get them to defend the tag titles, that's what he wanted against him as quickly as possible. So here's the thing, that he is going to give the tag title, and they should defend the tag titles against him. He want to use that opportunity, and that's what Ray the Stevens, Crippler Stevens, is looking. And Blackjack Mulligan Jr. and Jake Roberts then join Bob Caudle. So these were the two storylines here in this week's the NWA World Tag Team title situation, as well as this $1,000 Cobra Clutch challenge. We are not getting the Ric Flair, Roddy Piper story going forward. We didn't have any promo guests by Roddy Piper, but in the second half of it, we have Roddy Piper on the commentary, which was very nice, at least especially in that last two matches. He was great in the, and how much of a good he is in the ring as well as in the commentary. It just shows that he's such a versatile wrestler. He's such a versatile character. And yeah, and Blackjack, getting into the Blackjack segment, Blackjack Mulligan Jr. says that David Crockett still has Slaughter's $1,000 in his possession, but that is where it is staying for the time being. And he says that after the show went off air, he did escape the hold. We didn't see that, but he pretty much above 90%. You can say that he escaped that. He says that he will get another chance at that Cobra Clutch challenge, and that Roberts agrees to it, and we get into the kind of a co-main event, you can say, Terry Taylor versus Bill White. This was a good match, good work by Terry Taylor, and a mix of athleticism and aerial maneuvers, as well as the controlling technical match angle as well. And two halves of the match where Terry Taylor was on the go with a fast-paced action, with a series of arm drags, arm bar locked in by Taylor trying to slam him, and both exchanging blows in the end. Taylor whips White into the corner with a follows up with a couple of hard chops by White actually shoves Taylor into the corner first with a couple of hard chops. He slams Taylor's head into the turnbuckle, whips Taylor across the ropes, and lands a forearm across his face. He follows with a backdrop. Taylor gets White in an abdominal stretch and then takes him down for the pin. And quite a interesting wrestling that Terry Taylor actually bring about. First, he showed the skills of his high flying and aerial maneuvers, aerial skills, and then he actually changed over into an arm control kind of match, where he was controlling the wrist of Bill White. So good match. You can and we get it was good. And we get to the next segment. Pretty Boy, Carl Fergie, and Ox Baker. The tag team. Who are these? Are these the tag team champion? I think so. These are the Mid Atlantic Tag Team Championship, tag team champion actually. And Pretty Boy Carl Fergie and Ox Baker join Bob Caudle. And Fergie says that a lot of people say he hides behind Ox Baker because he's not as tough, and doesn't agree. And Ox Baker kind of screams whatever. I didn't understand what he told there, but Bob Caudle says, "Come to the point, man. We don't have any time," kind of thing. And he just said that, "Come to the point," like. About the tag team situation, and he just messed it up, and he was just getting around, he was saying that he wants to beat the people out, and if anyone wants to come, I will get them the beating that they have ever gotten. And in the ending of this segment, Pretty Boy Carl Fergie said he says he's going to have to hurt someone to leave his friend alone. So a lot of some segments were like doesn't clicked it with me, and that was a bummer of this negative of this episode this week. And anyways, we get into the main event: Ole Anderson and Ivan Koloff versus Buddy Landel and Tony Anthony. I would say this main event kind of saved the show, and yeah, and this saved the show because this was very fun, entertaining match. Lot of tagging by Buddy Landel and Tony Anthony, and the heels uh, getting the beating is very great to watch through. And a lot of, and we had Piper as well in on the commentary, so that's an icing on the cake. And Piper thinks Slaughter should get his 1,000 back because Mulligan Jr. might have escaped the Cobra Curse. So there was a point when I wasn't interested in the match, and I was listening to the commentary by Roddy Piper. But Roddy Piper's commentary was kind of in a slow manner, I would say. The volume was low. I don't know. Bob Caudle and David Crockett were on the upper side. So if they have in the next week episode, we will see how it goes. I mean, if they have the volumes good, that would have been good. But anyways, guys, this is I'm speaking about 81, 82, and I can't change it anything. I can change it anything now. So it's what it is. It's a historical value series, you can say that. And we say the negatives and all, but we still respects the what they were doing at that time. And yeah, so Sandy Scott comes out to talk about the NWA World Tag Team titles, and he said that Andersons will defend the tag team titles in the next 30 days against. He didn't address the challenger who it's gonna be, but he's gonna defend, and it can be either the Anderson or Ole and a partner of his choice. Scott says, and Buddy Landel comes in, beats on Koloff and Anderson. Koloff kicks at Landel, and a small package, lots of small package by Landel on Ole, but he kicks out. And in the ending of this match, we saw Buddy Landel tagging in Tony Anthony. He drop kicks Ole Anderson. Ole reaches his corner and tags in Koloff. Koloff with a backbreaker on Anthony. Ole back in and suplexes Anthony. So Koloff slams and then Anthony into the corner. Koloff climbs to the top rope and grabs a hold of Anthony's head, and his finisher, he drives the head into the mat, and this is such a lethal, nasty finisher. And I would like to see this finisher. And at this today generation, we have not seen this kind of finisher, and from a big guy actually, and drives Anthony's head into the mat, and Koloff pins Anthony. So Ole Anderson, Ivan Koloff were not getting the loss, obviously, because Ivan Koloff was the US, I think so, he's the TV champion or US champion, I don't remember. But I think so, he's a US champion. No, 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 he's a TV champion. Yeah, TV champion. And Ole Anderson is the one half of the tag team champion. So they weren't getting the loss here, and looked good. I mean, both Anthony and Landel looked very good here and felt believable they could get the victory. And they were with Gene Anderson. They can use Gene Anderson as one of his partner, because we will get into that segment. And we closed out Mid Atlantic closes out the show with lots of promos, and Big John Studd comes up and joins Bob Caudle, and he talks about hurting Blackjack Mulligan, and he says he cracked Mulligan's teeth and enjoyed slapping his son Mulligan Jr., and he was to finish the job on Mulligan, and he's just starting, he says. And Sergeant Slaughter comes up and says he's being forced to put the Cobra Clutch challenge again on Mulligan Jr. So lots of Mulligan Jr. story was being done in this episode, and he will give him another shot and saves Mulligan Jr. is going to wish TV time ran out and vows to send him to the hospital. And lots of guys that's in the back of Blackjack Mulligan Jr. And Ole and Gene Anderson now have both the NWA World Tag Team titles. He says Ray Stevens was scared to death, and that was the reason he returned the bell. You can say that kind of, because he was just saying so much in every week episode that he's not giving the title back. But they did. We know that how it's. I'm just speaking in the kayfabe manner. Ole says that they will find a partner because Gene is now an advisor. As Bob Caudle states that you have Gene Anderson, and but Ole says that he's just a manager. He's just an advisor. Say they will do it not because Sandy Scott said, but because they were not doing this. And Roddy Piper have an ending of waving a goodbye. Such a good way to end the show. And this match had a lot of positives as well as negative. The matches were okay. The main event was very fun, I would say, and the Billy Robinson match was also good. And I would say this was a good show, and better than last week. Better than especially the last week. Better than, I would say that. But the starting of the show wasn't very interesting, and a lot of promos which wasn't very good, and it felt like uninspiring, especially that Pretty Boy Carl Fergie, and the that one more segment we had with I think so, it was with I don't yeah, just said that which was that promo. I guess this was Tony, this was Pretty Boy Carl Fergie, and yeah, I don't And the Tony Anthony and Buddy Landell promo I'm talking about, and they had a very good fun match, I would say, and this closed out the show with a small smirk from the Roddy Piper waving goodbye from the back of Bob Caudle, and that was the show, guys. And rest in peace, Roddy Piper, one of my favorite wrestler, a greatest heel of 80s. Yeah, and one of my favorite babyface, I would say, is Ricky Steamboat. Such a good worker, and yeah, and this was a good show. Matches where good to watch through for the most part, and I will see you guys in the next one, and hope to see your thoughts as well. If you watch these Mid Atlantic, if you watched it Mid Atlantic before, in any of the day before, so if you remember, guys, please put it on your comments and thoughts on this series and what you guys wanted to me to improve. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, be safe, stay energetic, and peace.